Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. Welcome back to another Division 2 video. It's Tuesday, everybody knows it's time for the no nonsense vendor reset. So let's dive right in. I will show you everything that I think is a must or a best buy this week. Let's start it with the countdown vendor. And we can pick up it there, the setup and the new reliable. New reliable of course comes with perfectly optimized. The rest isn't really great, so I will leave it here. Setup of course comes with perfect opportunistic. So if you want to go for the perfect opportunistic with some arm regeneration, you could pick it up, and that headshot damage isn't that bad. Because of course the opportunistic only works with marksman rifles and or shotguns. Then over to the dare. This of course comes with perfect flatline, and it already comes with damage to target out of cover because that is a part of the core attribute. You can roll that swap speed away for damage to armor, for crit chance, or even for fire rate, whatever you think this dare needs. And there we are at the White House, and unfortunately it is not worth it. So let's skip over it and let's jump over to the clan vendor. And there we are at the clan vendor, the King Breakers for sale here, and this is a must buy because this already comes with damage to target out of cover and of course perfect flatline on there. So you can roll that assault rifle damage to the max cap, and you only have to optimize a little bit to get this King Breaker to max stats, and this is the perfect weapon for that tank build. One of my favorites, all not my favorite build of TU20. Then we can pick up the gloves of Umbra with maxed out weapon damage, so you can roll that armor generation away for whatever you think is necessary. And the rest isn't really worth it in my opinion. There is a very interesting knee pads of Brazos for sale with crit chance and weapon handling already on there. So if you want to roll that core attribute away and go for an extra skill tier, go for extra magazine size on your build, you could pick it up, could be an interesting buy, but the rest isn't really worth it. Let's jump over to our next vendor. And there we are at the campus. It is not really worth it. It is an honorable mention to show you the Forge. This is of course the named Richter and Kaiser holster with 50% shield health if you still want to pick it up. But the rest isn't really worth it. I will just skip over this completely and just jump over to the next one. Let's see what they have in store for us. And there we are at the theater. Again, an honorable mention for the stage left. This isn't really great, especially in attributes to pick up, but if you're still needing the stage left to roll in your expertise system to get it proficient, pick it up at the theater. Next to that, if you're just starting the game or getting back to it, you might want to pick up these gloves of Sokolov. 9.9% crit damage and 4.5% crit chance already on there, and you could even roll that weapon damage away, for example for an armor core if you want to use this in PvP. And the rest isn't really worth it. Maybe these knee pads of Walker and Harris the same if you just come back to the game, or if you're new to the game, this could be something if you want to go for a headshot build. Then roll that status effect away for some weapon handling, for example, or some crit damage or crit chance, whatever you think is necessary. And then you only have to optimize the headshot damage to get this to god roll, but the rest isn't really that interesting. So let's jump over to the next one. And there we are at the castle. Again, an honorable mention for the Tabula Rasa. This is of course a named weapon, comes with perfectly steady handed. Again, if you need it for your expertise system, pick it up and roll it in there. And the rest isn't really that interesting. Maybe the black market RPK because it got a huge boost with TU20. It's a little bit low on attributes, but the steady handed could come in clutch. You could pick it up. I will leave it here, but it is still something to mention. And then the rest you can just leave here. So forget about this if you don't need these two pieces, and let's go to the DZs. And there we are, DZ East. It is not worth it in my humble opinion. It's way too expensive to buy it over here, even if you PvP all day, because it's not really worth it in the rolls. So let's jump over to the next one. And there we are at DZ South, and the apartment is for sale again. This is a DZ exclusive named MPX. This comes with perfectly measured on there. And like I said, this is a DZ exclusive. So if you have the DZ points for it, if you don't have it yet, definitely pick it up. It's not the best roll, but you can roll that headshot damage away for some damage to target out of cover and optimize the rest again if you don't have it yet. The rest isn't really worth to buy or too expensive in my humble opinion. So let's scroll through all of this and then let's jump over to the next vendor, shall we? And there we are, DZ West, last DZ, and the backup boomstick is for sale. Again, a DZ exclusive, and this is a great one. Of course, we all know it will come with 17% shotgun damage instead of the normal 15. This is the boost that this backup boomstick gets because it's a named item. It already comes with damage to armor and with damage to target out of cover, so you can roll that talent away. You have a universal backup boomstick that you can roll whatever talent on there whenever there is a new one in a new season. So if you have the DZ creds for it, definitely pick it up. And the rest, again, in my humble opinion, isn't really worth it. Maybe this tactical super 90 because it already comes with damage to target out of cover, so you can roll that talent away again and make it into a universal weapon for whatever talent you need. Just optimized everything on this, but it's still very expensive and you can still just farm it in the open world or even in the dark zones itself, and the rest isn't really worth it as well. So let's jump over to New York and see what the last two vendors have for us. And there we are in New York, and it's not worth it. Or at least, that first vendor is not worth it. So let's jump over to Roy, the last vendor, and hopefully he has some better stuff in store for us. And there we are at Roy, and there's unfortunately only one piece we can pick up, and this is the must-buy piece of the week. This is a Seska backpack with critical hit damage and headshot damage already on there. If you combine this with your SMG, you don't need that crit chance. That crit damage and that headshot damage comes in clutch. And again, we can change this into a universal backpack. And what I mean by that, you can roll away that talent and can change that talent around for whatever you think is necessary on this backpack, and can keep changing it if there are new talents coming out in every new season. This is a must buy, and it's a great addition to your SMG build. Like I said, we don't need that much crit chances on our attributes, and the rest isn't really worth it. So that's pretty much it for me today. Thank you very much for sticking until the end. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow for the last vendor reset with Danny and with Cassie, and hopefully they have some better stuff in store for us. Hit that like button if you liked the video or helped you out in any way or form, and of course if you're new here and or you want to be updated about the Division 2, the Division universe and the future Division 3, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, and I will see you in the next one. PurePrime out!